Hi everyone. Today I'd like to quickly give a rundown of some of the sketch tools available in Siemens Solid Edge. Uh, so when you start a sketch, you would need to give it a plane to reference off of. The main planes are your XY and your ZX and your ZY planes. These can be turned on and off over here in the Pathfinder. I find it better to keep them off, as you can uh, select them from the coordinate system itself as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select the XY plane. So this brings you into the sketch environment. Now in your sketching environment, we're going to run through the drawing tools that are available. I'm going to run through the most common ones and some of your less common ones and where they would be used. So if you can see over here, this is a line command. This is basically used uh, as your fundamental drawing apparatus. So you can draw lines and do all sorts of things with that. So this will probably be a widely used tool. Just a note that your lines are by default constrained to be horizontal vertical unless you put them at an angle, in which case you'll see you don't see a little horizontal relation on the line itself. The lines would also be denoted as being square and trimmed to each other with a connect symbol. That indicates that those two lines are connected to each other. As in most CAD softwares, once you have placed your lines, you can then dimension them. You will see if your line is fully constrained, it should turn black. If it does not turn black, either it is not fully constrained, so you will see if I give the dimension over here, you can see this line did not turn black because there is an angle missing, or there are still some open relationships that can move. So if your sketch is fully confined and it's still not turning black, up here there is a relationship colors toggle. So you'll see over here that toggles the relationship colors on and off. That's just a handy tool to know. So that just about covers line. Under lines drop down, we have point and we have free sketch. Point is literally just the point a certain distance from your coordinate system. You can dimension to them and use them for the construction geometry. If you want, you can use them to denote the positions of holes or other 3D features. That's point. The next one I want to talk about is circle by center point. This is probably the most common used drawing command for creating circles. It's from center points. So there are a few different ways of doing circles. There is circle by 3 points, in which case you would give it 3 points to go around. Then there's a tangent circle. So if you wanted a circle tangent to this one, you would do it in that manner. Okay, then there is an ellipse. So let's say for argument's sake you want a ellipse over here. That's how you would draw that. And then there's also an ellipse by 3 points, which works similarly to a circle by 3 points. Okay, so that covers circles. Oops. Next one is rectangle by center. Again, a very self-explanatory function. This is a good way to draw a rectangle as it already relates the center point in accordance to where you put it. So all you need to do is add dimensions for it to be fully defined. There's a few different ways. Then there's a rectangle by corner. So this is useful if you have to work, say, from that corner to that corner there to draw a rectangle. Next one is rectangle by 3 points, which again is denoted by 8 points. Then there's a polygon function. So this is where you would do all your polygons from 3 sides and up. So you can do your hexagons and all of those things over here. Just a quick note, if you want your dimension to be across the corners, you would have to switch this. So when you drop it, it would put your corner on where you need it, or if you dimension it, see it puts the circle on the corners. So this circle is your driving geometry for the size. So it's okay. The next sketch tool I want to talk about is your tangent arc. So usually you would give it 2 points to stay tangent to. So you can see it will be tangent to the y-axis. Just a quick shortcut that not a lot of people always use. So when you are in your line command and you want to switch to tangent arc, you hold in A. Oops, sorry. When you're in the line command, you click and then you hold in A, it already automatically switches over to tangent arc and then back to line command. Yes, that's quite a useful function, saves you a bit of time here and there. We have an arc by 3 points, which again is quite self-explanatory. This is another arc function, which is circle by center point. So you would denote your center point of the circle, and then you would give it a start point for the arc, and then let's say an end point for the arc. So that's quite a useful thing if you want to draw a segmented circle. Okay, the next sketch tool that we want to run through is curve. So this is your spline tool. So you would be denoting the locations of the different handles for the arc. Now this is a movable and adjustable arc. So you can move all of these points by clicking and dragging them, or you can hold on to the handles and move those. You can dimension the positions of the positions of the different points of your arc, which would then constrain it to be in that position, which gives you a bit more control. The next function here on the drawing palette that we want to go through is your trim. So you have two options there. You have trim or you have trim corner. So trim deletes everything that you touch with it. So let's say I have this. If I click on trim, I then click on what I don't want to keep, then it would trim it. Or the other option would then be to use trim corner, in which case you can click on the two inner sections of the lines that you do want to keep. The next sketching elements we want to talk about is your extend to next and your split. So if you have two lines that will intersect each other at some point, you can use extend to next to extend it. You can have a line and extend it in both directions. So if you hover on this side of the line, it extends to this line. You hover on this side of the line, it extends to that one. They will extend to any geometry beyond it if you along the path if you had to extend it. The next one is the split command. So this is used to split a line or an arc or something. So you would select the line and then you would tell it to split it along the midpoint, which then separates that into two. You can also split a line somewhere where another line intersects it, in which case it should close up your area over there. The next sketch tool is your offset command. So you can offset chain a certain amount, or you can come over here and switch that to single. So then you can offset just a single element in the direction. So you would click on it, you would right click, and then you would indicate the direction, and then you would left click to confirm. The next one is your move command. So that's useful for when you want to move geometry from a specific point to another specific point or a specific distance. Notice over here is a move or copy command. So while this is active, if you hold or if you toggle control, you will see that little square turn blue. So this means that copy is on. So it's going to move this with a copy. So it's going to maintain the original and then just place a copy. Or if you have that off, it's now going to move that as being the original without a copy and just moves it to where you clicked. The next tool is the rotate command. You would select your geometry, give it a point to rotate about, point to rotate from, and then you can input an angle of 180. When you select control, toggles the rotate with copy or without copy. I'm going to do with copy. So that is rotate. The next one will be mirror. So with mirror, you select the geometry you want to mirror and you give it an axis. And then same thing with the copy, you toggle it using control. And the next one is stretch. So stretch maintains the relationships in the geometry. So if I select from there to there, it's going to stretch these highlighted lines. So then you select it, you give it a point to stretch from, then you can either give it a point to stretch to, or you can give it a finite amount to go. So I'm going to say The next command I want to work through is the construction. So the construction command works as follows. So if you have, let's say, a rectangle, and let's say, for instance, it's solid. If you want to have holes or a cutout of holes on this face, you would extrude on that face, and then you would give it a size. If you go and you say, I want the holes to be on the corners, what would happen now if you go and say close sketch and extrude, it's going to extrude that whole area because it's looking at the rectangle as part of the driving geometry. This is obviously not what we want, so then you would use the construction command to turn those lines into construction geometry. So when you say close sketch now, it's gonna only do the holes on the corners. The last one I want to run through is the project to sketch. So this is useful if you have, say, other geometry, solid geometry like a curve or a radius or something that you would like to project onto another sketch. So if you create a sketch on that plane, you can put it through into wireframe, go select project to sketch and select that edge. And now it transfers that edge on the selected plane that you want to have it on. This is useful in the assembly environment if you have to project certain edges or holes onto another part in the assembly environment. And that just about covers it. If you found this informative, please give us a like. Thanks for watching.